So, what is house hacking? House hacking is where you take your primary residence and turn it into a passive income generating property. So, I heard I have to establish credibility because otherwise you all won't want to listen to me. So, my name is Alexis Lee. I'm a real estate investor, Airbnb superhost, and a licensed realtor in the state of Georgia. I have been investing since I was 21 years old. I've gone from 2 to 24 doors in the last 4 years. I've built my own home. I've also started hosting 3 Airbnbs. What else you need to know? So what is the benefit of house hacking? Most people want to house hack because they want to, one, decrease their expenses. And so if you have somebody that is staying in your primary residence and they are paying your mortgage and the utilities by whatever rental income that they're paying, then that helps you to decrease your expenses. You can then take the funds that you would use to pay your mortgage and utilize that for investing in other properties, paying down debt. So the primary reason for house hacking is why you want to decrease your main expenses. So how do you house hack? One way to do it is by purchasing a multi-unit property, and you can use your FHA loan and buy up to a 4-unit property. So most people would buy a 4-unit or less property, live in 1 unit, and the goal is to have the other units pay all of your expenses and your mortgage on the first unit. But now times are getting harder for people to purchase multi-unit properties just because they're not making a lot of them depending on where you live. So there are other ways to still house hack by turning your primary residence into a passive income. One, you could buy a property with a finished basement. It's not necessarily categorized as a multi-unit property, but with a finished basement, you can then rent out the basement or live in the basement yourself and rent out the primary area of the house. Or what you can do is also rent rooms out. So a lot of people will live in the master, they'll rent out one of the secondary bedrooms to people, and then that helps to decrease your expenses and it turns your primary residence into passive income property. And so a good thing about house hacking is that you can buy a multi-unit property, 4 units, and you can live in 1 unit. The other 3 units can be income generating. They'll cover all of your expenses. So initially you're living for free. What I did with house hacking was, one, I wanted to decrease my expenses. So I moved into my parents' basement. I sold my primary residence and decided to stay with my parents for 4 years. And so that helped me to achieve the goal of being able to reallocate money that I would use on a mortgage and then put that to purchasing other income generating properties. So when you're saving that money, what do you do with it? I used all the money that I was saving during my time house hacking to then use the BRRRR strategy, which we'll cover in another video, to purchase properties, renovate them, and turn them into rental incomes. I did that for 4 years, and I went from 2 properties to 24 properties just using the BRRRR strategy and using all the money that I would save from having to pay my mortgage by house hacking and putting that towards rental investment properties. So what could be a negative of house hacking? A negative of house hacking could be, hey, you're living in this property, you have other people living there with you. You want to make sure that you're screening your tenants very well. So I like when house hacking to still do background check, credit check. I would screen them like I would have a tenant who was living in a single family residence or any residence. It's really important that you screen your tenants when you're house hacking because you are liable. They're in your home possibly, or they're in other units that are attached to yours. And you want to make sure that you're kind of aware of the background of the people that are living next to you, especially if you are sharing a single family residence together. So house hacking is just one method that can be used when you're looking to decrease your expenses and have more money to be able to put toward investment properties. We cover tons of strategies. There's a lot of ways to do this, and I cover it all in my course. I have linked it below, The Real in Real Estate. Listen, Don't dine and dash. Go ahead and subscribe below. What's it hurting?